Ready.
striker shit.
La, la,
Oh
la,
man, you getting ready
la.
for the dentist?
Tips to teen. What did I say before?
I don't know. Lips and assholes, tits and teeth.
Yeah, it's a tongue twister, Tony. Yeah, getting ready.
Lucy likes light literature.
Sally sells seashores, or what is sells
Sally sells seashells by the seashore.
Stephen sells Sicilian sausages by the seashore.
What?
Uh,
That was good. It's good.
what's
What's
up,
the
man?
what? You reminded me of that shit in Anchorman when he's when he's getting ready to do the show. He's like, they're coming in the back door. They're coming in the back door.
Coming in the back door. Oh
Dude,
man,
dude,
that first movie was great. The second one wasn't so good, but the first one.
the first one was funny. The second one was I still thought it was great, but it was a cut into there was a message. There
Yeah.
was definitely a message about news and the news media controlling shit. So it was definitely there was a message in there. It's pretty easy to see. But there was
Right.
some fun. Oh Jesus. Oh boy. There he goes. Oh yeah. Got them. I should have gotten 2 mugs. That's a shame.
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, cheers.
You're all head these days.
That is good foam.
Mm,
Yeah,
the finest foams.
man. Um. So what's up? How you been?
Good, man. I got my plane tickets booked. I got a place to stay, and from what I hear, there's nowhere to go out there. Should be fun.
What do you mean nowhere to go?
I've talked to customers and I've talked to people in Oregon, and they all say everything's closed, which is fine. I'm not there to do anything. That's
Yeah, I
actually
mean,
the point.
like as far as do anything, like yeah, you can't. There's no bars or restaurants or bowling alleys open or anything like that. Like,
Hmm.
but there are some places that have outside seating that you could go have a drink at.
Yeah,
But
it's only fucking 30 degrees outside.
see, that's the thing is they have outside seating, and some of them have like these tents, and they have flaps for doors, so you're inside. So and I'm not dissing on the bars and restaurants
Right.
because I work for a small business and times are harder. Times were hard before. Now times are really hard. So um I'm not dissing on anyone. They're doing the best they can, but they should just let people inside is what I'm trying to say, because if they allow that, well, by definition, then a restaurant is outside seating, because the building is outside, just like that tent is outside. That tent's outside, but you're inside of the tent. That building's outside, and you're inside of the building. Same fucking thing. If you think about it, they both have doors.
Right. I
There's
100% agree with you. I think a lot of these rules are simply made up just so governments can cover their ass. That's what it's always. That's how
yeah,
rules work.
yeah,
That's fine.
yeah.
We try to live in between the rules and getting arrested. That's how it is as an American citizen. If you
Mm-hmm.
want to survive, you have to find a clever way.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I don't know. So COVID's been going on what, 10 months, some shit like that. I was
Yeah.
stuck in my house for 10 weeks. I've taken risks. I've gone to amusement parks, I've gone to bowling alleys, I've been to movie theaters. If it's open for COVID, Tony's probably been there. Not proud of it, but it's just that's who I am. It's how it is.
Right.
So, I went through all that. Haven't had any issues that I know of. Family hasn't had any issues that I know of.
Right.
I had that dude come install fucking internet into my apartment.
Yeah.
I get a fucking email today. The person that came into your apartment has COVID. Just thought we let you know. And I'm
Bye.
like, the guy that was in my house touching everything. And we even talked about COVID. We even talked about COVID. Ironic. And they're sending me this shit. And I'm just like, they're like, you better quarantine. I'm like, no offense, but you're a week late. That was the 25th.
Right.
And I appreciate where you're coming from, but what the fuck am I going to do with that information?
Right.
Good news is he installed FiOS. We didn't fuck. I didn't get within 12 feet of the cocksucker. So we're fine.
Right.
I mean, honestly, we're going to find out. But I'm just like, all the time, I've been to restaurants. I wear a mask. I wash my fucking hands. Someone comes into my home and they send me the email. I'm like, dude, you know how many people come in the house and don't send me an email that probably had it? I don't fucking know. You're making me paranoid. Stop.
Right.
Like I said, they got to follow the rules. And the funny thing about the gentleman who was in here is that we were talking about COVID, and he was like, well, everyone seems to be calling out to get 2 weeks off. He's like, I haven't done that yet. Maybe I will. And then I get this email. So I'm like, high five, but fuck you. Like,
maybe he doesn't have COVID. Maybe he was just like, you know what? That fucker that's wearing a teddy bear is right. I will take 2 weeks off.
I think old Tony G put the hook in him.
I mean,
It's so ironic because, like, I was telling him, I was like, listen, when I was at the store, people were having COVID parties. Someone got the COVID. Everybody went to their house to have a party, and then everyone went back to work, and then they closed down the store. And they've been doing that for the past 6 months. It's fucking smart. Are they going to have jobs after COVID? No, but still, I mean, they might. And dude, they're getting off 2 weeks at a time. They only work for like a week, and then they're closed again.
right.
So, you know, I hope he's enjoying his 2 weeks off. I hope I don't have COVID, and don't have COVID parties. That's not nice. Don't do that. I'm not your boss, but don't do that.
There's two things that you can maybe do if you wanted. Well, one thing that you can do. Was he wearing a mask in the house?
Fuck yeah, he was. So was I.
Well, then you're probably fine.
I'm not playing around. It's just like I talked to a friend. Sorry, just like I talked to a friend of mine. I said, hey, I'm coming to town, you know, to the area, and I know it's, you know, I said, but if you want to socially distance, say hello, I'll be around, you know.
Well,
and he was like, yeah, he's like, I'm sure. He's like, I know you're not being a fucking idiot. And I'm like, I really had to think about that. I was like, I don't know. I'm kind of fucking stupid. What would he judge me for?
Well, I am a fucking idiot, so
you do have to like, go easy there, buddy. We haven't been friends my whole life. Kind of
right.
stupid.
Yeah, how far back you want to know?
Yeah, you've known me for 6 years, and this is the best 6 I've known. So
I should be wearing a mask the whole fucking time.
Oh my God, just wear a mask, like a full mask. But anyway, sorry to cut you off.
Oh no, I was just gonna. They have like, this is typical. Like, well, here, I went to an urgent care and I got tested. Right? They have those there, right? Urgent cares, something similar.
Yeah, yeah, and you can drive into a parking lot at the mall and get tested too.
Okay, so this is different because it's you don't live in Oregon. Here at urgent care, if you do not have health insurance, you could get tested for free. So look into that. I don't know. It's a different fucking state, so it might be different, but the government was helping people that don't have insurance to get tested for free.
Right.
So I don't know if you do have health insurance or not, but if you don't, maybe look into that. Because if it's free, fuck it. Go, you know, the test I took like 3 or 4 days. They jammed the fucking pipe cleaner up my nose. Felt kind of good. I wish they did the other side, you know, but if you're worried about it, look into it.
I'm not worried, but if I feel like shit, I will not be leaving my house, and no one will be coming over.
Right.
So I know that's a middle of the road statement. I understand that. Judge me accordingly.
But you did the right thing by wearing a mask in your own house.
Fuck yeah. Absolutely.
And if masks are it's probably like condoms where they're preventative, but it's not 100%. So
right.
You know what I mean? Like, you did the best you could, and I bet you're fine. Knock on fake wood from Target.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm not here for people to judge me on how I handle COVID or not, but that's how I'm handling it. I work from home. Yeah. My ass is at the house, and those who hang around know what's up. Actually, one of them just got their second shot. So what
Oh,
better way to find out if it works?
fucking A. That's cool.
Set them up. No. Let's play kissy face. Let's find out.
I have a cousin who they just got the second shot, I think. So
Yeah.
let's see what happens. I'll ask
No,
them. Hey,
I hear it's a wild
look up.
ride.
Yeah.
I would only take it because I hear that it's rough. I like kind of like want to sign up for it. Feel like shit for 3 days.
Oh, really? Huh.
That's why I would get the vaccine, just to find out.
So you just want to have a bad trip, is what you're saying? Like,
Dude, of the people who know me that you know that they know me,
yeah.
you know that Bad Trip Tony, that's my nickname. That Too Much Tony is my real nickname, but Bad Trip usually happens right after.
Help!
Help!
Help! Help! Stop! High stepping around the living room in sweatpants, no shoes on. Help! Help! We're in the same ride, man. I don't know. We're fucking strapped in.
Help! I need help.
That was a good night.
Oh man, I remember one time I was here and a friend of ours where you are got a call from a friend of mine here and was like, I don't know what to do, man. I don't really know you, but he's freaking out.
Really? Really?
He said he's walking up and down my hallway and he won't stop saying he's gonna die tonight.
All right. Tell the story. You need to tell the whole story.
I think I told all right, here real quick. A friend of I'm going to be vague here. A friend of mine that lives here. We went to a concert right when I moved here. I think I've told half of this before. In any case, we're walking home and I accidentally ate the whole bag of mushrooms. I think the bag went missing, so it either went missing down my throat or it fell on the floor at the concert. But whatever fucking happened, I lost my shit as soon as the band that we came to see came on. So the night's ruined. You're over there petting the couch, trying to find a comfortable space. And that's the beginning of your trip. It's going to get way worse from there. And it did. We ended up walking from Center City through North Philly, where this person lived in a not so safe neighborhood. And we got shot at.
Really?
Definitely got shot at. We didn't know that we got shot. I mean, I knew we got shot at because I could still see the bullet. Like, that's how heavy I was going. Whoa. And the person I was with was like, no, we didn't get shot at. And I'm like, I've been shot at. I know what it sounds like. That's what it was. Right. Then we went home, he checked his phone and it said there were shots fired. Yeah, so we got shot at. So right there, my trip was like
yeah,
super fucking paranoia. Yeah, and he's telling me we weren't shot at. And I'm like, we were shot at. I know we were shot at. And then he's like, dude, we were shot at. And he shows me his phone and it's like 10 times this big. I'm like, whoa. And then I was like, we got to leave. We can't stay here. He's like, yeah, but we got shot at there. So then I just got stuck in his little hallway. And I just kept going back and forth. And I would sit down and I'd be like, just trying to focus on it. And I'm just like, and I get up like, oh, we gotta go. And he'd be like, dude, just calm down. Like, we gotta go. We gotta get out of here. We gotta get out of here right now. I'm dying right now. I'm dying in front of you. I'm gonna die. You gotta call somebody. And he's just like, fuck. This poor kid's in college. I'm like twice his age. And he's just like, he's like this grown ass man who's supposed to have his shit together, who's done more drugs than I know about, is losing his shit, you know? And so he calls the person over in Oregon and they're like, hey, what's up, man? I talked to you once. What's going on? And he's like, this guy's losing his shit. I don't know what to do. He says he's going to die. He's on acid. He's going to die. He's on mushrooms. He's going to die. And he's just like, he's not going to die. Like, I got him. And so this was like 4 hours into the trip. He finally gets this guy on the phone. And then I get on the phone and he gives me the phone and I'm like, with two hands, like a little cell phone. And I'm like, hello? And he's like, what's up, my dude? And I'm like, oh, hi. And my cousin just looks at me and slides down the wall. Like, he's just like, thank God. And I'm sitting over there and I'm like, and he's like, what's going on? And I'm like, I'm dying. What are you doing? He's like, what? I was like, I'm dying. He's like, calm down. You're not dying. I was like, I'm dying. I'm dead. I'm dead right now. And he's like, what happened? I got shot at in North Philly. I'm going to die. I'm dying right now. I'm shot. I think I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding everywhere. And he's just like, yo. He's like, my dude, it's cool. I'm like, it is? He's like, it is. Like, all right. I was like, but I'm dying. He's like, you're not. I was like, okay. So we just start talking. He just talked me the fuck down. And it was at that moment that I developed one of my key phrases and he said this, he said, you do not, I said, I need to go to the hospital. He said, no, you don't. I was like, why is that? He said, this is what's going to happen if you go to the hospital. They're going to take your fucked up ass and they're going to put you in a room with bright fucking lights and a bed in the middle, and they're going to strap you to it. And they're going to fucking leave you there until you sober up. And then you're in trouble. And I was like, I'm going to be in trouble. He's like, you're not in trouble yet if you stay where the fuck you are. And I was like, all right. So he just talked me out of it, man. It was fucking great. And I've never, ever, ever done anything harder than hit a fucking joint in the city of Philadelphia ever again. You shouldn't shoot at people. You know why? Because other people are on drugs, and that's not cool, man. I was just trying to enjoy the concrete jungle. I was going to get fucking shot at. Jesus, I would have been fine.
So you call a person in Ben, a friend in Ben, yeah?
Yeah.
You don't have to say the name, but it's probably who I think it is,
Yeah.
right? Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's the best person to call.
So I told this other story before. This is a slogan that I love to say. Because that person and I were together and we saw someone that was having a hard time. And I said out of my clever mouth, once in a while, they got an ambulance. This was a couple of years before my episode.
Right.
They had an ambulance. And I said, that guy doesn't need an ambulance. He needs a good hippie. Lo and behold, I know a good hippie. Lo and behold, the guy that was with me knows that good hippie too. And he's like, beep, 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 beep. Help, help, help. He needs help.
Yeah.
So when someone says they need help on drugs, at least the psychedelics, I don't know shit about any of the hard stuff.
Yeah.
Narcan, I hear works, but that's not for me.
By the way, disclaimer, most of the time when we're talking about how cool and like fun stories we're like talking about, it's the good drugs. It's not. Yeah. So we're promoting good drugs, not the.
And this is like once a year type shit. If we're gonna judge, we'll judge properly. Like just hallucinogenics once a year. That's where that's what we're talking about here. This sounds like it all happened every weekend. Not the case. Still a functional human being. And as it turns out, I do less as I get older. So I ruined the end of the story. That's just so you know. I don't know a lot of 60-year-olds frying on acid. I met one.
I met a few.
Well, yeah. I mean, there are some out there. That's who you buy your acid from.
Sometimes, yeah.
In any case, if you're freaking out, you don't need the ambulance. You need a good hippie, depending on the drugs you're on. And if you don't know any hippies, like you're in the city around here, like you're fucked. You do need an ambulance because they don't have any fucking hippies. So don't fucking call my ass. I'm not a hippie. I just know one.
That's funny. Yeah, I know exactly who you called, and it's a great person to call. At any time, you just want to talk, but especially when you're trying to, not die in a hallway.
There were no sharp objects around, man. This is all in my fucking head, but I was freaking out.
Dude, I've been there, man. I one time had such a bad trip, like I was probably like 17 or something like that. We did a bunch of mushrooms and I started to freak out in my own head. We were in a van parked in the middle of the woods somewhere. When you grew up in a small town, I've talked about this on the show before. There's not much to do, so you just do weird fucking shit. So we had this big blue van. My friend had this big blue van. We called it the Blue Ox for some reason. And we used to just like drive around with like smoking bongs in the front seat and like listening to fucking loud music, being complete shitheads in Terrebonne, Oregon. And one night we did a bunch of mushrooms. We drove out into the woods and there was like 5 or 6 of us like sitting on the floor of a van, like smoking weed, like doing mushrooms. And I had a bunch of mushrooms. And one of our other friends who owned the van, another friend took one of his books that he had and hid it as a joke. And he got mad because he's on mushrooms too. And he flipped out, was like, "Where's my fucking book?" And he like broke the window of his van, the side window, like the sliding door window with his elbow. And I just saw the fucking glass shards just go like super slow motion. And as soon as I saw that, my eyes were just like, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm going to have a bad trip." Like I said in my head, I'm like, "This is going to be bad." And then I guess I was like freaking out and I was real emotional. I was just like kind of doing the Tony stomp, like running around, like not having a good time. So they ended up taking me home. And we were driving into Terrebonne to my parents' house into the country, and there was this train that was like on the train tracks, and it was really there, and it was fucking going next to us, and we were keeping speed with it, just on accident. And I this is probably my third or fourth time doing mushrooms. 17 years old, I ate a whole eighth by myself.
Fuck.
I ate a whole eighth, smoking weed, drinking beer, just fucking out there. Like when you do mushrooms, you usually don't see visual like hallucinations, like something
Yeah.
that's like, yeah, like, unless
Colors.
you eat a lot of them. And in that case, I did. And I looked at the train that we were keeping up with, and there was fucking volcanoes shooting out of it, and demons running on the train tracks looking at me like and like I was like, oh God, I'm going to my parents' house right now. This is my friends dropped me off and they go, see you later. And I just was like, oh no, the demons are
Fuck.
chasing us. Walked in, and I guess I like fell and like was like knocking things over. My mom woke up. She's like, hey, are you all right? I was like, yeah, sorry. Whoa, what are you doing here?
I live here.
She's like, are you drunk? And I'm like,
Yeah, that'll work.
I just like kind of like lunged like towards her and grabbed her and like hugged her. I was like, I love you, Mom. And she's like, you're drunk, go to bed. And I was like, yeah, I'm more than that, but okay. And then the heater was on in the house, and the heater was talking to me. It was like, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
And then I started laughing because I was like, heaters don't talk like that. And I ended up falling asleep. So the story kind of goes, but it was fucked up.
I'm not fortunate enough to fall asleep when I have shit like that. It just keeps going. And then someone will say to me, oh man, you're going to be doing this for a while. And I'm like, oh no. And then everyone will be like, oh, we're going to bed. And you're like, wait, don't leave me here. Like, come on, man. You just lay in your sleeping bag all night long by yourself, listen to your favorite Bruce Springsteen song for 6 hours until you come out of it. I get it.
I get it.
Or if you're out camping and you're in your tent because you're the one that's having a hard time, and everyone else is out at the campfire, and you're in there tripping face, staring at the freaking shadows, the shadow puppets in the tent,
right.
And everyone's talking about you,
and you can hear them
because they think they're in a house, or that you're in a house, and you're just do a fucking sheet of goddamn whatever it is, and so you can hear everything. Then you start talking to them. They're like, oh, he's not going to make it. Like, I'm still here.
He's not going to make it.
And then maybe they're not even talking about me. So then you just hear this guy saying, I'm still here. Like, what the fuck is going on?
You get it. You're still here. And so are we.
You know how many times, like when you were a kid, like if you were drunk, you were going to be in trouble. But where you were on harder substances and you were automatically like, I'm drunk. Because that's kind of legal.
Right, exactly.
I've done that. I did that when I was 21. I was at a rave, came out of we're in the rave upstairs, really fucked up. I never smoked so many Newports in my life, but they tasted like angel farts going down my throat. It was fucking amazing.
What does this taste like?
Like fucking fiberglass in hell, but it tasted great on whatever I was on. So these undercovers come in. Back then, this is like 2000. These undercovers come in tuxedos. And my friend like leans over to me. He's like, don't tell these guys anything. And so the guy comes up to me. He's like, do you know where I can get some drugs? And I'm like, and then he says, do you know where do you want to buy some drugs? And I'm like, I'm fucked up. And that doesn't make any sense. How can you want drugs and have drugs to sell? So the guy looked at me and he was just like, yeah, we want this. And I said, my friend said not to tell you anything. And then I just turned my head like this and like looked at the wall until he went away. I was like, are you still there? I was really fucked up. 5 minutes later, you just like someone like they didn't turn the lights on, but everyone started to scatter. And I was sitting on a stool in the middle of the dance floor and someone's blowing Vicks in my eyes with lights. Obviously, I was the sober one in the room. And I'm still sitting on the stool and all these people are like, just gone. And I'm like, where'd the lights go? I'm like, come on. And then I realized there's more people in suits coming up the stairs. So I look at my friends and they're all like wearing the cool disco clothes and shit. And they're like, this way. And I'm like, so I just go right past the guys in the suits. I don't know what happened, just a skinny little ass. I slide past them and they're putting up crime scene tape.
What?
Like I kind of limboed. The guys like pulled out the yellow tape, like, and I'm like, whoa! I went under the tape, like, if you want a limbo, and they're like, what the fuck? And I went under the tape, got outside, we run around the block, and then the cops are there and they're like, hold up. And we're like, yeah, what's up? And they're like, how old are you? What are you doing? What are you on? And I was like, they were like, what do you know about what happened? And I'm like, what happened? And then, so they're telling me all this shit and I keep asking them questions. Like,
Right.
I'm the cop. I'm like, well, who
Yeah,
did
yeah,
it?
yeah.
they're like,
Yeah,
perfect. Wait a minute. We're asking you the fucking questions. And I'm like, okay, ask me a question. And they're like, they're like, we see your eyes are super dilated. What are you on? I'm like, I'm drunk. I'm just drunk, super fucking drunk. I'm drunk. And my friends are sitting on the curb and they're dying because I'm like, I'm drunk all the time. I'm always drunk. I'm drunk at work. And they're like, why do you keep saying you're drunk? You look like you're
I'm drunk all the time.
Because I didn't want them to know I was high on shit.
That's the funniest shit I've ever heard. I'm drunk all the time. I'm drunk at work.
They can't do anything about that.
Oh god.
That's how my brain was working. I'm like, just say you're drunk about everything. And the guy's like, what drugs are you on? I said, alcohol, Bacardi, 151, Everclear, like all the time. And my friends are like laying on the side, like on the curb, like just dying. And I'm like, it's not funny. They know, they're laughing at my problems. I don't appreciate it.
Bacardi 151 all the time. Just keep on saying all the time. All the time.
He's like, listen, he's like, I wouldn't openly admit that you'd been drinking. And I'm like, why not? I'm an alcoholic. He's like, I'm serious. And he's like, that's a really stupid thing to say for someone who's underage. And I'm like, I'm not underage. And they're like, all right, you got to stop lying. I'm like, dude, I'm serious. I'm like, I'm actually, so I handed him my ID and I gave it to him, and it's a military ID at the time. And I give it to him and it's upside down. And the guy's like, he's like, this isn't right. And I look at it and I'm like, yeah, that's me, man. He's like, are you upside down right now? I said, yep, I'm upside down and I'm drunk. Yep, that's me. He's just like, he's like, and at one point he's like, all right. He's like, I get it. You're drunk. What else did you take? Beer. I drank a lot of beer. He's like, he tells my friends, he's like, listen, I don't know what he's fucked up on. I was like, but he's not drunk. And they're like, I don't know. He's an alcoholic. He told you he's got a problem. And then he looked at my ID. He's like, well, you fucking, whatever. You're legal. Fine. He's like, stay the fuck out of that club. And I'm like, what happened? And he's like, someone got stabbed. And I'm like, I was like, it wasn't that guy selling that bunk shit, was it? And he said, what? And I was like, nothing, I'm drunk. And I walked away. Oh, man, that's true. That shit was crazy, man. I just turned 21. I'm drunk all the time. Drunk right now. Drunk.
That's the funniest story that's been told on this show, I think. That's fucking hilarious. I'm drunk all the time. I'm drunk right now. I'm drunk at work.
What I'm getting at is if you're in trouble and you're not, we used to say, if the cops are coming, take a shot. If they're going to question you about drugs or something like that, take a shot. Smell like alcohol, won't be a problem.
Yeah. You just round up. That's all. Right. Round up, round down, whatever. You just go, okay. Even if you're underage, you're like, I just did a bunch of coke. Well, just drink something right now, and then just be like, I drank some. I'm an alcoholic. I drink all the time, and then just get it MIP, and that's it. It'll be fine.
Well, the problem with I had some friends of mine who actually did get busted. They went to a Tool concert. I didn't get to go to that one. I guess it was good juju. They all got busted. They got busted by the military police. Which to me is not a place I want to trip balls, in the military jail. So they sat my friends down and they were like, we know you're on some stuff. Like, what are you on? And these guys, I would have cracked. honestly would have cracked. I could not have handled those. I just would have been too intimidated.
Hmm.
I would have fucking folded and lost my shit. But luckily, I was actually in charge of the barracks that night. So when they got arrested, I was the one that stood in front of their door with a loaded weapon in case they left. Because that's how you do it in the military. They're like knocking on the window, be like, dude, go get us some snacks, man. I'm like, I'll blow your freaking head off if you come out that door.
Blow your freaking head off.
That's my job. Stay in there and clean the place, why don't you? But they really, they told me, what they told me freaked me out. Like they sat him down, like put him under pressure for 3 hours, like tried to get everything out of him. But acid doesn't show up on a drug test. At least it didn't back then. I guess there's something you can test for now. But
Right. Well, I mean, like that's why they always did the like spinal tap, right? That was the thing.
yeah, but they don't, yeah, that was something they scared you with back then. They don't fucking do that. I mean, maybe if you killed someone in a military vehicle on acid, they might.
Yeah. They're not gonna catch you if you're like, yeah, you're doing some acid in a park and you know, gotta go to hospital, gotta put a fucking needle in your spine to see that you did 2 hits of low grade acid, you know, like
If you bust out a needle for my spine, I will just tell you what everything I've done right then and there. Like, that's it. I quit. Fuck this shit. I'm on everything. Now you know.
all the time.
I'll still be all the time. I'm on it right now. I'll be able to work tomorrow.
all the time.
All the time.
If the name of this episode isn't all the time, then you know.
Okay. All the time.
All the time.
Oh shit. Yeah, it's true, man. This is a fun show, man. I like this. I didn't thought I would tell you.
I like this too, man. It's good.
Oh shit, that's great.
Oh man, so I got another cheesesteak today. It's pretty good.
Yeah, what's the name of the spot?
Grant's Philly cheesesteak.
All right. If you're in Portland, check it out. This is the second time you recommend it?
Yeah, I do. I didn't get the same thing I got last time. When it was still good and everything, you know, it's fucking, I mean, really, it's kind of like, in my opinion, like you might disagree, but it's just like it's meat and cheese and bread, you know, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Like even if it's not
hard to fuck it up.
The classic way of doing it, you know, it's fucking, you know, it's music, it's pizza, it's good, whatever, man. You know, fucking party.
All the time.
But I didn't get the same one I wanted to, but I forgot the name. I realized I'm really bad at ordering food over the phone. I'm so bad at it. Jim Gaffigan used to have a joke about it on one of his specials. I forget what his special was called, but he was just talking about how, like, basically his joke sums up, it's like, you know, people that order to go like pizza on the phone, like you get there like, oh, I'm gonna get this pizza, and they're like, Domino's, how can I help you? And you're like, fucking pepperoni, fucking ice cream, but I need one, you know. And that's how I feel. And there's like Callie and her mom's in the car, and I hang up the phone. They're like, you're really bad at that. I'm like, I know, I can't do it. Even I work at a restaurant, but they're like, Grant's Philly cheesesteak, what can I get you? And I'm like, food, you got any of that? Okay. Well, first of all, they said the name of the place. They're like, please hold. I was like, to go order. We'll be there in a little bit. And he's like, no, hold on. I'm like, okay.
We'll be there in a little bit. Okay, we won't have anything ready for you. You should fucking order anything.
And I was like, I want 2 large the Cheese Whiz Philly, large, big ones. Chips?
Okay.
He's like, all right, dum-dum. Just come here.
All right, dum-dum. You are in Portland. They wouldn't have called you dum-dum here. They would have hung up on your ass.
And then I was like, that was me on the phone, by the way, like 10 minutes ago. The one that was like stuttering and stammering and didn't know what, you know, acted like he was in outer space. So he's like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, here's your sandwiches.
He's safe out there.
Yeah, be careful, man.
Put a helmet on.
Like, yeah, I don't know where I am ever.
So what did you order? Whiz Wit?
No, usually that's what I got the last time, and that's what I wanted, but I ended up getting what they call their original, and it's just meat and
Cheese.
provolone and like tomato peppers. They're like spicy peppers.
Spicy pepper.
They're like pickled spicy,
Yeah.
like they're like, but they're called tomato peppers because they look like tomatoes, but they're peppers.
Oh,
And
okay.
it was good. I mean, it tasted good, but
So you like the whiz?
I like the whiz, but yeah, like the, correct me if I'm wrong, but like the traditional one, you know, the fucking, isn't that what the traditional was? I always
I've,
thought a classic cheesesteak sandwich was meat on a roll with onions and cheese whiz. That's what I thought.
so what I'm, and if I'm wrong, someone's gonna call me, like really call me and say something. But in any case, what I know is that a Philly cheesesteak is with the cheese, regular cheese, not cheese whiz.
Oh,
A New York, this is what I've heard. I could be wrong. The New York cheesesteak, they're the ones that started with the cheese whiz. That's what I heard. I could be wrong. I might get shot. But what I know is that the Philly cheesesteak is not the original is not with the whiz,
okay.
but we do both. So when you go here, you can say whiz wit, or you can just say with. Just you say if you say on a cheesesteak with, then that's not whiz. That's the regular shit.
Right.
Provolone, whatever the
Yeah.
fuck they use. I don't know my cheeses. In
Yeah.
any case, you could say with or without. With it's either with onions or without. But if you want whiz, you say whiz with or whiz without. Or you just
Yeah.
say I want one with or I want one without.
Right.
If
Okay.
you want whiz, you have to. My point is, if you want whiz, you're supposed to tell them you want whiz. Otherwise, you're getting the regular cheese.
Okay.
So it makes me. That's why, from what I've been told, the cheese whiz is not the original version.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
it's
that's the
very
one I.
popular here. And
Yeah.
if you go to the stadiums, from what I think that's what you're getting.
Mhm. Well,
From
because I think it's easier and cheaper to do the whiz probably,
oh yeah,
because
for
it's, you
sure.
just get a can of fake cheese, and you get hot and you put a stick in it and you drizzle it on the fucking meat
It's
and
just
then,
messy as shit. Like
yeah, that's the one
yeah,
I like that one.
no, that's cool, man. I don't.
Oh.
I mean, I always, I don't think I had one with whiz on it until I moved here. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And they're like, it's
Mm,
whiz. I'm like, ugh, I don't like it.
yeah.
Either way, it's cool that you can get both. And that's all there is to it. Like, to me, I don't criticize one way or the other. You like a fucking cheesesteak, you like a cheesesteak. But I'll tell you one thing. I mean, you can get a cheesesteak in a few places, but the best fucking hot dog I ever had was in Chicago,
Yeah. Yeah.
as
Me
it
too.
should be.
Yeah.
And they don't fuck with ketchup, right? Like, you'll get slapped in
No.
the face if
No.
you ask for ketchup.
No. It's like mustard, and then they. I
Mustard.
mean, yeah, and then they do the Chicago dog, with all the shit on it.
That was so good. So
Yeah.
good. I had one. I just coincidentally bought one on the street and they were doing the blues festival that weekend. Sat down on some steps, listened to the fucking blues. Such a good hot dog. And there was no ketchup. I didn't ask for it. Anthony Bourdain had reminded me ahead of time I shouldn't ask for it because I watch good shows.
Right.
And so I went and ordered one and I was like, just do it. They're like, you got it. And they just threw all this shit on there. And I'm like, there's a hot dog in here, right? And they're like, yeah, fuck off. I'm like, okay. And I knew.
Yeah, fuck off.
I love that. Even the cops, like, I was like, hey, isn't that the Sears Tower? Like, hey, watch your fucking mouth. I'm like, what? They're like, Sears don't own that shit anymore. It's somebody else. I'm like, I fucking know. And they're like, are you a cop? I'm like, no. Then you don't know. And I'm like, all right, I'm out. It was weird. Like the cops are just like, what the fuck is going on here? Protect and piss off? Is that your job? I don't understand. In any case, they did a good job of that. But yeah, I guess what I was rambling on about there is that if I was going to go to Philly to get a cheesesteak, I would just try anywhere. And then maybe later another day, I would try another one. But that first one, like that first Chicago hot dog, like that set the precedent for me. I was
Right.
like, never going to ask for stupid ass ketchup when I'm in Chicago. I'm just going to let them do it. And I'm a guy who's like, I don't like this and I don't like that. That's how I usually am. But lately I'm like, load it the fuck up. I'll figure it out. And they're like, okay. And you just get this pile of onions and everything that's gonna make you shit for 3 days. And you eat it. It's awesome. And then you shit in 3 minutes instead of wait for 3 days. It sucks.
Isn't it funny you go somewhere where, on vacation or whatever, you're not from there. You're walking around for 3, 4, 5 miles, whatever. You eat some greasy fucking meat, you drink a couple beers, you're like, ooh, I gotta go somewhere. I gotta go now. And I'm not from here. I don't know where to go. It's hot. Yeah. And I gotta go now.
And
right.
And then if you're in the city, it's like, hold on, you buying something? They're like, I already did. That's why I got to go to the bathroom. They're like, you ain't doing that in there. They're like, come on, what am I going to do? It in the fucking street? Yeah. I'm like, all right, fuck it. Got napkins? Here we go.
Go shit in the street like everyone else, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. And then, like, why does this place like smell like shit? They're like, people shit in it. Oh, good to know. Fuck. I've actually had problems in cities where I've pooped like in the wood. I pooped like I've taken a shit. It's had to happen. The people aren't going to let you in. If you go to New York City, in my experience, go to the bathroom before you get there, because you can't go to the bathroom while you're there.
Right.
It's not allowed. I don't think you're allowed to go to the bathroom unless you live there. I didn't see a bathroom anywhere. It's like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. In London, they charge for the bathroom. You put a coin in the door, and then you can take a shit.
I mean, that seems like, yeah, you gotta pay to go to the bathroom, but at least they're not gonna tell you no. At least.
I would gladly have paid for the bathroom. I would have thrown quarters all over the street if I could take a shit, but they just don't let you in the Northeast. They're like, no. I'm like, what do you mean no? It's a human function. Yeah. I ate your fucking food. I'm gonna shit it out because it's good, I guess. Help me. Like, no. Like, all right, fuck it. Shitting on your seats.
We're going right now.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Problem solved. There we go. No big deal. Just shake it out on the way out. Yeah. There should be public bathrooms. There should be. There should be. Even if you got to stick a quarter in there. And I understand why you don't want people fucking staying the night in there, but whatever. Right. If they need to stay there, fuck it. You should let them stay there too. Not my business, but just saying.
Yeah. I like the idea of putting. I mean, I don't, but I think it's better than being told no. Putting, paying for the bathroom.
Man. If tourists come to your town, I understand you want money and you don't want anyone to use your shitty bathroom that you might fucking grow meth in or whatever you do.
Grow meth. You grow meth.
You do grow meth. It's science. In any case.
I mean, there's
it's an ice plant.
Yeah, ice plant. Yeah.
Just get a fucking bathroom going. You tell people how great your city is. Put a bathroom in. Right? Just a shitter. Something. Just a bathroom. It's all right. It's gonna be fun.
Speaking of going to the bathroom, it's time to talk about that album.
The fuck was that all about?
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You ready to talk about it? All right. Yeah. The artist was Poppy.
Yeah.
And the album was I Disagree, right? That's
yeah.
All right. So I hope you know the reason why I chose this.
To make fun of it.
Yeah. I wasn't like, hey, check out this cool album. I was like, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, sometimes you don't need to talk about things you like. Sometimes you need to talk about things you don't like so you can tear it apart. And that's one of these times. It's like, so the reason I talked about this in the last episode, but I'll say it again. The reason why I listened to this band or artist or whatever in the first place is because they were opening for Gojira and Deftones, and I was supposed to go see them, and still am if it happens. And so I was like, oh, okay, I'll give the opening band a listen. And I was like, no. And I listened to one song. I was like, what the fuck? And then, so I listened to the album twice now. And just to really drive it home. And I'll ask you, what did you think of it first?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, dude. I did not hang with it long. I did what you said. I listened to some of it, and then I listened to some of her other stuff, and I was good. Yeah, point proven. Not for me. I listened to the album first, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, all right, okay. All right, I get it. But then I listened to her other shit, and then I was like, what the fuck is going on? What? Did she get into a new drug? Like, why would you flip the script like that? And
Right.
one of the songs that's popular is actually done as a cover. One of her second most popular song on Spotify right now is a cover from a band called Tattoo, and it sounds just like them.
Yeah.
So I guess a lot of people didn't know that it's a cover. I don't know why the fuck this chick has so many followers. It really baffled me. I was like, you have a million listens, views, whatever. You have all these people listening to your shit, and you've been around for 2 minutes, and you sing this pop shit. Your name's Poppy, so okay, you're Poppy. Good for you. You did it. But then you do this album, and I'm like, I didn't get. I was like, what the fuck happened? Did someone die? Is she working some shit out? Like this isn't the same stuff. It's her pop with a bunch of demonic fucking metal in the background.
Mhm.
So that I didn't like it, but I just thought it's really weird. I'm not against it. I mean, good for you, but I'm not mm-mm, no. I'm not go.
So,
I mean, I might go see them too when they come to town. I'm not gonna check that out.
right. Um, so I'll tell you why I think she did this most recent album. It's because like what we were talking about last episode, metal and satanic imagery
Ah,
is popular. It's popular. It's popular to look like a cute little goth chick or be like a big metal like a metalhead. Like it's popular to do that.
right now? I mean,
Yeah, it has been for years. Yeah, it's
huh.
definitely popular for sure. Like we were talking about, like satanic panic, like that used to be scary. Satan was scary. There's Satan
Oh, okay.
and killing goats in the forest. That's scary. Watch out. But now it's just like, oh yeah, everyone looks like a metalhead. Everyone, yeah, Satan's cool. It's in. Which part of me likes and part of me hates. And the same thing for this record, this album. Like I don't like the music. I don't think there's any merit in it, and I think it's garbage. My personal opinion. That doesn't mean it is,
Yeah, right.
because obviously some people like it because she exists. But I think it's hot garbage. But there's also a part of me that likes part of it because she is stepping on something that people take really serious, and I love that in a
That's
way,
fair. That's
because that's she's just take like if you were to take 10 metalheads and put them in a room and be like, all right, boys or people, I got a new album for you. It's by Poppy. It's called I Disagree. It's the best metal. It's the best metal album since the first Metallica album. It's the best fucking thrash album. You're gonna love it. Put it in, and they're like, this isn't metal. This fucking sucks. Fuck you and fuck them. A part of me would love that. Just it
yeah.
steps on a whole genre of music that people take really serious, and I think that's hilarious.
If that's intentional, then right on. And if you named your
Huh.
band Poppy because you go after Poppy shit and fuck with it, that's if it's on purpose, right on. If it's not, then no, I don't know.
I don't think it is. I think she probably thinks, it's okay if I fucking rustle some feathers, But nah, she, it's a trend. It's fucking being like looking scary, looking like this like a fucking metalhead, is popular. It's like it's the norm. Like people with face tattoos, and good for them,
Yeah,
not shitting on them, could get normal jobs nowadays, which is fucking awesome. But that just shows times have changed, and there's the good and the bad with that sort of thing.
right.
And to me, this is the bad.
For for me personally, like being completely fair, if someone put on Britney Spears, I would have turned it off just the same as I would have turned this off.
Yeah,
So I'm not saying that it's bad. And I was surprised by how many people listen to this stuff. And the bands like Gojira and Deftones, fuck yeah, put them on the bill. Why not? They
yeah,
got fucking people listening to them, and they're your opener. Why not? And they're
yeah.
gonna do a metal show. That's fine. You're
Mhm.
just asking me if, like, if you give me different flavors of fucking Kool-Aid to drink, I don't want that one. I
Right.
didn't like it. It didn't. I don't know. It was just weird. There's this little chick singing, and it's like, "Rah, rah, rah," like whatever. That's cool. Thanks. I'm good.
Well,
You
see,
know?
the thing is I love metal, and I've said that a billion times, and you know that.
Yeah.
And so, like, a part of me was like, "This is fucking trash," and it and stepping on everything that I love. And then another part was like, "I love this because it is stepping on everything I love." But
Right.
ultimately, my opinion is that I dislike it a bunch, and there is another band that is similar to that, to this, and they're awesome. They're called Baby Metal, and they're a Japanese band.
Rob Zombie loves those guys. Lets him. He tours. They tour with him a lot.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's awesome because it's just done better. It's, it's funny and it's like
Right.
it's awesome, and it's metal the whole time. It's not pop and then a little bit of heavy guitar sprinkled in.
Yeah, that's why I didn't. I was just like, What's your sound? Because I heard you covered Tattoo, and
Hmm.
that's two girls that sing romantic songs. It sounds like they're singing them to each other, which had its own draw. I listened. I know. How do I know it's Tattoo? Because I fucking love that album.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was like, she covered Tattoo, and then she's doing this. Like, do you know what you're up to? Do you have a plan? Like, that's where I'm at. I'm like, I don't know what you're doing if you don't know what you're doing. Like, but if your name is Poppy and you're gonna go with popular trends to sell music and it's kind of a laugh to you, then great.
Right.
Or if you're just a really big fan of the flower that makes a hard hitting fucking drug and ain't got shit to do with music, then go fuck yourself. That's
Right.
all. From Philly. It doesn't mean I really go fuck yourself. Just, a nice friendly go fuck yourself. That's all. You have to preface everything. Like, "Oh, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it."
Yeah, no, you gotta fucking
Otherwise,
tiptoe
you're
right
going
through
down,
it.
baby.
Yeah.
But
It's
here's
true.
the thing. This is what I thought about that band. I didn't understand this part, and I'm crazy, but I'm also a literary. I love my words. I love to read what people write. There was no bio. First
Hmm.
band I looked at with no bio that has over a million people listening to their tunes. They didn't write one thing. It even says there's a picture of them. It says submitted by Poppy. I'm like, you didn't write one thing about yourself at all. And you do write that yourself. No one else writes that shit for you. I learned that the hard way. But no one writes your bio. You write your bio. So you didn't write anything about yourself? Like nothing? There's no history? You didn't start anywhere? You didn't. I don't know, it's
Right.
just weird to me. I know it sounds a weird thing to pick at, but it's like maybe that has something to do with your music. You don't know what the fuck your music's about. Maybe you don't know what you're about. I don't know. You can't put it into words.
Right.
What is it? That's what I wanted to say. What is the mission? What's your music? What were you trying to do here? What is this? And I look and you're like, I don't know. I'm like, oh, well, then I don't know either. You say we're really, really into pop and we just got into crack and now we're into metal. If that's what it says in your bio, then I'm like, oh, that makes sense. You did that here.
Well,
But
you know me. I kind of like that
I know, I know.
because, like,
I want to know what I'm getting into.
yeah, but like, I don't know. Fuck it. Maybe that's what you need to know. I mean, that's what you need to know. Well, you don't know what you're getting into because they don't know. So fuck it. Like, why? I don't know. To me, it's like, does everything need to be fucking explained?
No,
Everything.
but I mean, at least say, hey, there's 3 people in the band. These are our names, and we're all from Michigan. That's cool. I mean, just anything. I mean, why would you come see me perform? I don't know. There's a picture of him. Like, oh no, he's from everywhere and he makes stupid jokes. Like, no, I'm not gonna watch that. You know,
There was
but I
a
get where you're coming from. I do get it.
couple of years ago. So in Portland, they do a best of in one of the papers.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and they do that for comedy in the local scene. And one of the local comics, he got like, I don't know what place he got. It was out of 5. I don't know what he got. I don't think it wasn't first, but it was probably, it was in there. And everyone in the paper gets like a port, like they each get a page. I think it's like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
everyone gets a page, and just had a picture of him. Everyone else, picture of them, and then it had a bunch of words and shit. Like him, he just had his picture, and then had a full blank page in the middle of it. It said no comment,
It's a
and
statement.
I just
Right.
thought it was funny. It was just like, yeah, he didn't say anything. Yeah, all right, fuck it.
And of course, I dig that. And if it's on purpose, I respect it. But
Right,
with this band, I was just like, all right, cool. I don't know what you're doing, and maybe you do. Cool.
right.
but the music itself, it's just not. That's not something I'm going to jump into.
No,
That's all.
I'm 100% with you.
Yeah.
I turned it on again a second, and I was listening to it, and Callie was like brushing her teeth or whatever, and she's like, "What the fuck is this?" I'm like, "I don't know. It's garbage, though, isn't it?"
It's trash going in the dumpster.
Yeah.
The funny thing was, like, playing them just made me listen to more Sloth Rust. Like,
Right.
I still am listening to that band. I am.
No,
They
I
did
am
a
too.
they did a covers album that's
Uh,
really good. They covered I know this isn't about. I'm just saying they covered Marcy Playground. Sex and Candy is the first track, and I'm just like, fuck, this is great. So I did listen to that stuff. I was like, back to Sloth Rust.
yeah.
And I got the name right, by the way, because after we talked about this shit, I immediately went to YouTube and started watching videos. I'm like, why did
Right.
I think about this? And yeah, really, anyway, I'm still sucking on their fumes from last week. But this was cool. This is what I liked. This is what I liked. The way you set it up. Personally, I thought it was fucking brilliant. I really dig that you're into this enough to say, don't just listen to this. You got to listen to something else too. Because you hadn't said that, I wouldn't have done it. And if I
Right.
hadn't done it, it wouldn't have been the same. To be able to compare it. And then, like I said, it meant something to me to see her cover that song. It was just like, oh, all right, okay. So your influences are this. And this was your number one hit, was the cover of this song. But
Mhm.
now you're over here. So, and you don't know what to say about your band. So I got you. You're just as confused as I am. Understood. I hope it works out.
Yeah, I mean, at least you guys are in the same. We're all in the same boat then.
Right.
Yeah, that's something that I never need to listen to again. Like if I never ever ever in my whole life, as long as I live, the next 5 years, I will never. If I never had to listen to it, it'd be great. Like it's fucking.
Well, it makes you wonder with a band. It's like, is the person who made the album going to listen to it again? Like, are they proud of it?
I hope so. I hope they go, "Hey, this is a shitty thing I made. I should probably, subject myself to it and not others."
I mean, if that show does take place, like, because it's supposed to come through town here too later after the Portland show. If it happens, I will be going to it.
Mhm.
Maybe I'll catch a piece of it. I want to now. It's just that's how you get fans when you're like that. You don't get fans. You get people to show up out of
Right.
curiosity. And that's what this is. Like, to me, it's like, good. You're just getting more people to see the Gojira because they're opening for the Deftones. So
Yeah.
more people show up earlier to see your weird shit, and then they'll check out another band who's been around for a really long time that deserves the attention. So it all works out.
Yeah.
Nothing against it. I really don't like to slander a fucking artist. I mean, people have told me they don't like my shit, and I told them to go fuck themselves. So that I feel that you should be able to do the same thing to me.
Well, see, that's the thing. Is like I always, when I am doing that, I always try to go. I think it's garbage.
Yes, but I'm not telling someone else to think that. That's up to you. That's
Like
where you're
it,
coming.
their Poppy is obviously in not in my book, but in grand scheme of things, they are good
Yeah,
because
I've
people
never
like
heard of
them.
them.
They are popular. They're touring with two legendary bands in my book.
Yeah, we're
They're
not.
doing they're doing, they're doing an arena tour. They have a bunch of albums. Poppy is just one person. They obviously have hired musicians, so they have clout enough to have someone want to play with them.
Right.
So, um, technically, they are good. I just think it's hot garbage, my opinion.
The
So,
funny thing with me is I'd probably go see them live and be like, this ain't bad. I bought the vinyl. You know,
this ain't bad.
that's me. You got one good hook, and I'm in, man. You write one good hook, and I'll listen to it 100 times. I'm that guy, and then I listen to the rest of your catalog outwards, hoping to find another good hook somewhere.
Yeah.
That's how Sloth Rust works, and then keep finding shit. So, in any case, no, that was fun, man. I'm glad you did that. I'm glad I didn't have to listen to the whole record. I honestly didn't. I was like, I can't fucking do this.
Yeah, I tried to listen. Like, see, the thing is like the first couple of songs were like had some metal riffs in it, and there was like one that was kind of rappy.
Yeah.
And then the last like 5 or 6 songs were just, if like, to me, that what I remember hearing was just straight up pop. There was like no metal. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe there was bits and pieces, but it was like, yeah, and that's why I'm saying it's just a fad. It's just a thing.
Right. That's cool. But I mean, do you have enough songs to open for two metal or two heavy bands? I hope so.
Yeah, I bet you they'll probably play like 30 minutes. I bet.
They'll
And
probably just turn some of their shit heavy. Like we're gonna do this, but with guitars in the back
sure.
because we have guitars.
Yeah. And either way, even if they don't, it doesn't matter because Go Gojira is going to come on and blow everyone's dick off. So it'll be fine.
I really do want to see that show. I mean, you got me into Gojira. Now I want to see them.
They're so fucking good.
Well, I last time I saw Deftones, it wasn't a great show. I was with someone who kept trying to hold my hand, and I'm not into that shit. So just kept like moving away like from them. It was really weird. It was a weird night. So yeah, that wasn't a fun show. So I'd like to go see them again without someone, or if I want to hold someone's hand, there's permission.
Hey, Tony,
Yeah,
I'll try to make it to Philly, and I'll hold your hand, man.
dude. I mean, you could just carry me. You're a big fucker. You could just hold me. That'd be cool. My back hurts, man. I need fucking help. I got to stretch in the middle of the show and shit. I'm that guy now.
I gotta fucking stretch all the time. Ugh.
Yeah, this COVID shit and looking down at screens for too long, man, it's fucking me up. I'm the hunchback of the suburbs over here. But I don't know if it before I guess we're near the end of it. It must be. I picked a soundtrack for next week, and it ain't no weak sound for me. Sums up my I love this shit. Anyway, it's the Crow soundtrack.
Okay.
Brandon Lee.
The first one, the first Crow.
The first, yeah, you could do for a guy like me, you could do either one. But tonight, the first Crow soundtrack, and I'm probably gonna watch the movie too, just because. I mean, in any case, hey, if you're really into this shit and you want to, I highly recommend watching the movie and then throwing the soundtrack on, whatever you're into. But it's just fucking 90s all over the place, man. It's great.
Yeah. All right.
In any case.
Cool.
That's for next week. Yeah, I'll probably talk about the movie a little bit too, because that movie was fucking huge for me. The soundtrack and the movie go hand in hand. Right. Just love it. One of my favorite fucking movies and soundtracks of all time. So yeah, next week that shit, and there'll probably be more drug stories. We always find a new one to tell.
There will always be more drugs.
That needs to go on someone's tombstone who died from drugs. There will always be more drugs, but there'll only be one Tony, and he's dead. So don't do them. Nice dark fucking joke to go out on. All right.
Thanks for watching and listening.
He's got it.
Like, subscribe, hit the bell, or don't. I don't, whatever. We care. And do that. And then go to Instagram, Titfoo69. Check that shit out. We post every once in a while. And thanks for watching. See you next time.
And a disclaimer. You can tell by the quality. I know that 2 shows ago sucked really bad. And ironically, the very next week, new service on my end. It doesn't skip anymore. I've noticed. It's my fault. I openly admit it. After 27 episodes, I fixed the problem. So if you think that if the reason you weren't watching the show was because of quality, I mean, the quality, not the entire, you know what I mean, then please tell people it's better. It's fixed. If you're not watching the show because it sucks, then you don't know I'm saying this anyway, so it doesn't matter. Thank you very much. Put your seat backs and tray tables in upright position.